Students, welcome in 29th activity of Bridge Course of Standard 8th. इयत्ता 8वीच्या सेतू अभ्यासाच्या 29व्या कृतीमध्ये तुम्हा सगळ्यांचं स्वागत आहे. फर्स्ट ऑफ वी विल लर्न अबाउट लर्निंग आउटकम्स. यातला पहिला भाग आहे तो या कृतीतील उद्दिष्टांचा. ही कृती केल्यावर आपल्याला काय शिकायला मिळणार आहे ते आधी जाणून घेऊयात. अँड दॅट इज रीड्स अ व्हरायटी ऑफ टेक्स्ट्स फॉर प्लेजर. म्हणजे आपल्या आनंदासाठी आपण वाचलं पाहिजे. मग ते कोणतेही टेक्स्ट असो, भिन्न प्रकारचं जे काही टेक्स्ट पॅसेज किंवा मजकूर असेल तो आपल्या आनंदासाठी आपण वाचला पाहिजे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल ॲडव्हेंचर स्टोरीज अँड सायन्स फिक्शन्स, फेरी टेल्स, बायोग्राफी, ऑटोबायोग्राफी एट्सेट्रा. मग याच्यामध्ये साहसी कथा असतील, वैज्ञानिक कादंबऱ्या असतील किंवा परीकथा म्हणतात त्याला, पर्यांच्या गोष्टी असतात त्याच्यामध्ये. आता बघा, बायोग्राफी अँड ऑटोबायोग्राफी. बायोग्राफी म्हणजे कोणाच तरी दुसऱ्याचं चरित्र, जीवनचरित्र दुसऱ्या व्यक्तीचं. पण ऑटोबायोग्राफी म्हणजे स्वतःचं आत्मचरित्र म्हणतात त्याला. मग एखाद्याचं जीवनचरित्र आणि आत्मचरित्र हे विविध टेक्स्ट स्वतःच्या आनंदासाठी आपण वाचले पाहिजेत. अँड स्टुडंट्स, आय नो एव्हरी वन ऑफ अस लाईक स्टोरीज. आपल्यापैकी प्रत्येक जणाला स्टोरी म्हणजे गोष्टी आवडतातच. अँड इन दिस ॲक्टिव्हिटी वी हॅव लॉट ऑफ स्टोरीज टू रीड. आपल्याला अनेक गोष्टी ह्या ॲक्टिव्हिटीमध्ये वाचायच्या आहेत. बट बिफोर दॅट लर्न अबाउट द इन्स्ट्रक्शन्स फॉर स्टुडंट्स. पण त्याआधी तुमच्यासाठी काही सूचना आहेत त्या आपण जाणून घेऊयात. फर्स्ट, लिसन केअरफुली. काळजीपूर्वक ऐका. आणि जर वाचणार असाल तर काळजीपूर्वक वाचा. रीड केअरफुली. फॉर्म अ ग्रुप ऑर पेअर. गट किंवा जोडी जोडी तयार करा. रीड गिवन पॅसेज. दिलेला पॅसेज उतारा वाचा. डिस्कस ऑन गिवन पॅसेज. त्या उतार्यावर चर्चा करा. आस्क युअर डाऊट विदाऊट फिअर. तुमच्या मनातील शंका अगदी न घाबरता विचारा. फाइंड आउट बुक्स गिवन इन अ लिस्ट. यादीमधील पुस्तकं शोधण्याचा प्रयत्न करा किंवा शोधा. अँड लास्ट वन इज विजिट नियरेस्ट लायब्ररी. तुमच्या जवळच्या ग्रंथालयाला भेट द्या. द नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज लर्निंग ॲक्टिव्हिटी. व्हॉट इज गिवन देअर? टीचर गिव्स अ पॅसेज ऑन ऑटोबायोग्राफी इन ग्रुप, पेअर्स, individual. Ask them to read it carefully with a smiley face. Okay, you have given a passage and you will have to read it. But let me read it for you. हा पॅसेज मीच तुमच्यासाठी वाचतो. अँड द टायटल ऑफ द पॅसेज इज चाइल्डहूड, म्हणजेच बालपण. बट रिमेंबर, आय विल नॉट एक्सप्लेन द पॅसेज. मी हा पॅसेज मराठीतनं एक्सप्लेन करणार नाही आणि कुठलीच स्टोरी मराठीतनं एक्सप्लेन करणार नाही. दिस activity is only for reading, so I will read it. You listen carefully and try to follow me. I must have been 7 when my father left Porbandar for Rajkot to become a member of the Rajasthani court. There I was put into a primary school and I can well recollect those days, including the names and other particulars of the teachers who taught me. As at Pobandar, so here there is hardly anything to note about my studies. I could only have been a mediocre student. From the school, I went to the suburban school and thence to the high school, having already reached my 12th year. I do not remember having ever told a lie during this short period, either to my teachers or my schoolmates. I used to be very shy and avoided all company. My books and my lessons were my sole companions. To be at school at the stroke of the hour and to run back home as soon as the school closed. That was my daily habit. I literally ran back because I could not bear to talk to anybody. I was even afraid lest anyone should poke fun at me. There is an incident which occurred at the examination during my first year at the high school and which is worth recording. Mr. Giles, the educational inspector, had come on a visit of inspection. He had set up 5 words to write as a spelling exercise. One of the words was kettle. I had misspelled it. The teacher tried to prompt me with the point of his boot, but I would not be prompted. It was beyond me to see that he wanted to copy the spelling from my neighbor's slate, for I had thought that the teacher was there to supervise us against copying. The result was that all the boys except myself were found to have spelled every word correctly. Only I had been stupid. The teacher tried later to bring this stupidity home to me, but without effect. I never could learn the art of copying. 8. The incident did not in the least diminish my respect for my teacher. I was by nature blind to the faults of elders. Later, I came to know of many other failings of this teacher, but my regard for him remained the same, for I had learnt to carry out the orders of elders, not to scan their actions. So, from the passage, we learn about the respect to the elders and specially teachers. It is given throughout the passage, and this passage is from an ऑटोबायोग्राफी आत्मचरित्रामधील हा एक उतारा आपल्याला या ठिकाणी वाचनासाठी दिलेला आहे. देन द नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज सॉल्ट ॲक्टिव्हिटी ऑर डेमो. हिअर ऑल्सो यू हॅव गिवन अ स्टोरी. अ फ्रेंड इन नीड इज अ फ्रेंड इन डीड. म्हणजे जो संकटकाळी उपयोगात पडतो तोच खरा मित्र, किंवा जो संकटकाळी मदतीला धावून येतो तोच खरा मित्र. Okay, let's read the story. Mohan and Sohan were two friends. Mohan was a good friend, but Sohan was selfish. One day, they passed through a jungle. They saw a bear. They were afraid. Sohan at once climbed up a tree. He did not care for Mohan. Mohan lay down on the ground. He held his breath. The bear came and smelled him. He thought that Mohan was dead. He went away. Sohan came down. He went to Mohan and asked, "What did the bear say in your ear?" Mohan replied, "The bear asked me to be aware of false friends." Moral म्हणजे बोध. Beware of selfish फ्रेंड्स म्हणजे मतलबी मित्रांपासून सावध रहा. दिस इज द मॉरल ऑफ द स्टोरी. देन द नेक्स्ट पार्ट दॅट इज प्रॅक्टिस म्हणजेच सराव. टीचर गिव्ज अ प्रिंट ऑफ वन स्टोरी टू रीड फॉर प्लेजर. सो यू विल हॅव टू रीड द स्टोरी अँड नाव आय विल रीड द स्टोरी. द हिडन ट्रेझर म्हणजेच दडलेला खजिना किंवा लपलेली संपत्ती. Let's read it. Once there was an old farmer. He had 4 sons. They were very lazy. They did nothing. They were always quarreling. One day the farmer fell ill. He knew that his death was near. He called his sons. He said, "There is a treasure in our field. Dig it out after my death." Then the farmer died. The sons went to the field. They dug the whole field, but there was no treasure. A wise man advised that to sow wheat. They sowed wheat. They had a good crop. They learnt the value of hard work. They began to work hard. मॉरल, नो पेन्स नो गेन्स, म्हणजे कष्टाशिवाय फळ नाही. दिस इज द मॉरल ऑफ दिस स्टोरी. स्टुडंट्स, रिमेंबर वन थिंग, ऑल दीज स्टोरीज आर फॅमिलियर टू यू. या सगळ्या गोष्टी तुमच्या आमच्या म्हणजे सगळ्यांच्याच परिचयाच्या आहेत. द नेक्स्ट स्टोरी इज द शेफर्ड बॉय अँड द उल्फ. मेंढपाळाचा मुलगा आणि कोल्हा. ही तर सगळ्यांच्या परिचयाचीच कथा आहे. लेट्स रीड इट. Once there was a shepherd boy. He grazed his sheep outside the village. There was a forest nearby. One day, the shepherd boy was grazing his sheep. He thought of making fun of villagers. He started shouting, "Wolf, wolf, come and save me." The villagers came running. There was no wolf. The boy laughed at them. He said that it was a joke. The villagers were angry. They went away. One day, a wolf really came there. The shepherd boy cried for help, but the villagers thought that he was joking. They did not come. The wolf killed many sheep. It wounded the boy. The boy learned a lesson. He never told a lie again. Moral, never tell a lie. कधीही खोटं बोलू नये. This is the moral of the story, and you also follow this throughout your life. Then there is another familiar story, the cap seller and the monkeys. टोपी विकणारा आणि माकडं. Once there was a cap seller. He had a bundle of caps. He was going to a village. There was a forest in the way. It was very hot. He wanted to take a rest. He lay under a tree. He fell asleep. There were some monkeys on the tree. They came down. They took away all his caps. The cap seller woke up. He found his caps missing. He looked up. He saw the monkeys. The caps were on their heads. The cap seller thought of a plan. He threw down his cap. The monkeys also threw their caps. The cap seller got his caps. He went away. Moral, do not give up hope in difficulty. म्हणजे संकट काळात धैर्य सोडू नका. There is another one story which is familiar to you, and the name of the story is The Dove and the Bee. Students, when I was child at that time there was the same story, but The Dove and the Ant. मुंगी आणि कबूतर अशी ती गोष्ट होती. इथं मुंगीच्या ऐवजी मधमाशी घेतलेली आहे. ओके, लेट्स रीड इट. Once there was a bee. It felt thirsty. It went to the river. It fell into the river. It was about to die. A dove saw it. She plucked a leaf. She threw the leaf into the water. The bee got onto it. Its life was saved. It flew away. Some days passed. A hunter came. He saw the dove. He aimed at the dove. The bee saw all this. It stung the hunter. His gun fell down. The dove flew away. She thanked the bee. Moral, do good, have good. म्हणजे पेराल तसं उगवेल, जैसी करणी वैसी भरणी. So the dove helped the bee. Then the bee helped the dove. Then the next and the last story is United we stand, divided we fall. It means एकीचे बळ. There was a farmer. He had 4 sons. They always quarreled with one another. The farmer was very sad. He advised them not to quarrel, but in vain. One day the farmer fell ill. He knew that his end was near. He called his sons. He gave them a bundle of sticks. He asked them to break it, but they failed to do so. Then the bundle was untied. The farmer asked his sons to break the sticks one by one. Each son broke the sticks. The farmer said, "Be united like the bundle. If you are united, none will harm you." The sons learnt a lesson. They never quarreled again. Moral: Union is strength. एकी हेच बल आहे. Students, in this way we read all the stories and text and passages. But remember, you should learn to read for your pleasure, your enjoyment. तुम्ही तुमच्या आनंदाकरता वाचायला शिकलं पाहिजे, हे लक्षात घ्या. Then the next part is Diksha video or e-content. You have given autobiography of श्रीनिवास रामानुजन. श्रीनिवास रामानुजन यांच्या ऑटोबायोग्राफीची लिंक तुम्हाला दिलेली आहे. तुम्ही ती ऑटोबायोग्राफी वाचू शकतात, म्हणजे आत्मचरित्र वाचू शकतात. सेकंड, हॅव अ कप ऑफ नाईस टी. बायोग्राफी म्हणजे जीवनचरित्र. मी तुम्हाला मगाशी पण सांगितलं की ऑटोबायोग्राफी म्हणजे आत्मचरित्र, स्वतःनेच स्वतःच्या जीवनावर लिहिलेलं, आणि बायोग्राफी म्हणजे एखाद्याने दुसऱ्याच्या जीवनचरित्रावर लिहिणं, त्याला म्हणतात बायोग्राफी. सो यू हॅव गिवन बोथ लिंक्स हिअर. दोन्हीही लिंक दिलेले आहेत. तुम्ही दोन्हीही लिंकवर जाऊन हे व्हिडिओ बघू शकतात आणि ते वाचू पण शकतात. देन माय टेक अवे ऑर टुडे आय लर्न्ड. रीड फॉर प्लेजर. आज आपण काय शिकलो? आनंदासाठी वाचलं पाहिजे, आणि वाचताना आपल्याला आनंद आला पाहिजे अशा पद्धतीने वाचन झालं पाहिजे. ऐकणाऱ्याला पण ते गोड वाटलं पाहिजे, आणि आपण वाचतो आहे याचं पण आपल्याला समाधान मिळलं पाहिजे. सो आवर रीडिंग शुड बी इन दिस वे. अशा पद्धतीने आपलं वाचन हवं, आणि हेच आपण या संपूर्ण कृतीमधून या ठिकाणी शिकलो. अँड इन दिस वे वी हॅव completed this reading activity here.